What about you, Malika? How do you feel about it?
What was the question again?
Well, the question. Okay, what we were talking about. Hi, hello. Thank you so much for being here. I hope that you are safe and doing well. Welcome back to another J Fashion Mythbusters video where we bust some myths about J Fashion! This is a series where I have guests come to talk about a style or topic that they are knowledgeable on so that we can all learn and grow together. We want this to be a place for everyone to have healthy discussions by being more, as Alisanvia says, empathetic, open-minded, and critical. After watching this video, I would love to know your thoughts in the comments, as this is a group discussion, but also always remember to be kind to one another. So today's topic is hijab J fashion and cosplay. I have Malika and Alice with me to help explain what it is all about. But for those who don't know, a hijab is something that some Muslim people wear, and sometimes they will style it with their J fashion outfits. And this interview came at the perfect time because a few days after this video drops, it will be the start of Ramadan, which is a month of fasting, prayer, reflection, and community observed by Muslims worldwide. Ramadan ends with a festival called Eid al-Fitr, or the Festival of Breaking the Fast. So let's go ahead and jump right into the interview. Hello! Hi! Nice to meet the both of you. So, hello! So for those who might not know who you are, please introduce yourself. So let's go ahead and start with Alice.
Hi, I'm Alice. Not my real name, but I prefer to be known as Alice. So I'm from Malaysia. I wear hijab, as you can see. I wear hijab with Lolita Fashion and also Mori K.
Mm-hmm. Yay! Thank you.
It's my turn?
Oh, yeah.
Hi, sorry.
No, you're good.
My name is Malika, and many of you know me as Malika Keep Smiling. I am into like Lolita fashion and other J fashion substyles like, Fairy K and Decora. And I also been cosplaying for quite a while. So yeah, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet the both of you. Thank you again so much for doing this interview with me. But yes, Lolita fashion, J fashion, and also a little bit of cosplay as well, because I know, Malika, you cosplay, and you at one point had like you worked for a company that does like cosplay sort of stuff, right?
I did. I had my own company. It's called Dakota Koopa Company, and it's named after my turtle, Morton Koopa. So yeah, so and I basically like design like cosplays for like other people and pets and stuff. So I did that for a little bit.
That is. Did you ever make a cosplay for your turtle?
Of course, I should include him in here. I made him Bowser from Mario. He wasn't a big fan of that one, but he did like when I did the Pokeball. I'll include those both in there.
Oh, thank you so much. Oh my God, that sounds amazing.
Thank you.
Oh. But yeah, speaking of cosplay, because I know that, you can incorporate your hijab into like cosplay as well as J fashion. But I know, Malika, you mostly do cosplay stuff, but Alice, not so much. And before we get started, I just want to for those who might not know the difference between J fashion and cosplay, because with J fashion, it's more so like fashion, your personal style. Like you are wearing the clothes not to dress as a different character, but to express yourself. It's yours, basically. But with cosplay, you are cosplaying. It's mostly a costume. Dressing up, you are playing the cosplay. Yeah. So you're trying to dress up as a different character, so that's the difference between both of those. So I just wanted to make that distinction right off the bat, because I know maybe some people don't know. So yes, but let's focus on the J fashion side of things. How did you find out about J fashion, Harajuku fashion, and cosplay, if you do cosplay? So Whoever would like to answer that question first.
I guess I'll go first.
Okay.
All right. I discovered J Fashion July 2015. And it was my first time going to like an anime convention. And I was like really excited, but I was like, I wear my hijab. I don't know what to do. And my husband actually knows about it from, I think, this manga or anime he watched. And he's like, hey, why don't you just be this like Lolita character? Like he didn't know what it was. He just like, why don't you just do a Lolita? And I was like, sure, I don't know what that is, but it looks nice. So, I did my research and I finally, put together my first cord and it was so amazing. And yeah, that's how I discovered it.
What? That's so cool. Do you mind if I ask who the character was?
Well, it was just a regular Lolita.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't like, it was just like
wasn't
generic.
any, like specific character. It was when I first like researched like what Lolita fashion was, I was like hooked because I was like, wow, this is so beautiful and it's so amazing and so like expressive. Like I want to do that, but I want to like incorporate my hijab with it. So yeah, that's basically what I did.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
My question. Like the first time that you wear, did you see someone else wear hijab Lolita too,
No, unfortunately. But I have, but now I see more people wear it with their hijab, which is amazing.
So when you first try it, you feel like you're like one of the first. I mean, it's 2015, right?
Mm-hmm. I wasn't the first. There were a few like before me, but yeah. I should include one of them. I forgot her name though. It's my nervousness. There was one, Sugarnor. Yeah, she was the first hijab Lolita that I saw, and she basically like helped pave the way for me to give it a try, and I really liked it. I never stopped loving it since then.
Yeah, she's like one of the iconic hijab Lolita.
Very iconic. Thank you, Sugarnor, if you're watching this video. Thank you very much for paving the way for us.
Yes. Yeah, while I was doing my research, I had found two people. I think they are from America that do hijab Lolita. I think one of them, their username was the hijab Lolita, but I couldn't find their account anymore, unfortunately. But yes, if you are watching this video, thank you so much for everything. I think they started in like 2008 or something. It was pretty long time ago.
It was a while ago.
Oh my gosh. But what about you, Alice? How did you find out about Harajuku fashion, J fashion?
Well, I actually started with doll community, BJD. BJD doll. So they're like the like, do I need to define it? It's like, okay, maybe you can put picture later.
Oh yes, ball jointed dolls, right?
So I started getting into the community. So there are some people inside the community who wears Lolita fashion whenever we have like gatherings and so on. So the fashion of ball jointed dolls, they wear a lot fashion from the Japanese culture. I mean, yeah, because it is coming from the Japanese culture too. So yeah, the fashion also like all those. So I'm kind of like interested in it, but I haven't really tried on until like I think around 2 to 3 years ago. Yeah, because I got one close friend who is also in the doll community who I would say like dragged me like, yeah, why don't you try and so on. Yeah. So that's how
Nice, very nice. Oh my gosh. So you've only been doing it for 2 to 3 years. Like I thought that you had been dressing up for much longer than that because
I know, right?
Like I feel like I remember seeing your cords from quite some time ago. Your Mori outfits were very inspirational and very distinct to me. That's really cool. For the both of you, when you found out about it and you started wearing fashion with your hijab, like when was the first time you styled a J fashion coordinate with your hijab? And what was that experience like?
When was the first time? Wait, I don't remember the date anymore. Like the year. I think it's okay, I remember. It's a doll event. Yeah, and that is like my first time wearing a dress from Bodyline. And I was handling a doll booth. So yeah, I do sell some stuff, dolls, clothes, handmade doll clothes. So I decided to like, okay, maybe I could try and dress up because, like I said earlier, there are some people like wear a lot of fashion in that event too. So I feel like, okay, maybe I won't feel like too awkward. So I wear it that time. And how do I feel? Like first, of course, nervous because it's my first time. I'm like, do I do it like right or do I do it wrong or something like that?
So you was like
Because
nervous.
yeah, because
Yeah.
you don't all the rules, and if you don't wear it right, you're gonna look like Ita and so on. So
Mhm.
yeah, I was that nervous, and but then yeah, also I feel like so pretty, and I feel like so happy. Like, oh, I'm finally trying it. I actually bought the dress like I think 1 year before, but then after that, I only really try it on. I also remember that during that day, suddenly like there's people from newspaper, like local newspaper. They also attend the event, like to interview people about the event. And then they saw me because I'm like the only one who wears Lolita fashion and hijab at that event. So they're like coming to me and suddenly like doing an interview. I'm like, what? This is so much. Yeah, this
Oh my
is-
gosh, the very first time you
Oh,
ever wore it
wow.
out in public and you get news reporters. That's a lot of pressure. Oh my goodness. Like, did they know that you were wearing J fashion or were they like, what is your cosplay? What are you cosplaying as?
Well, at that place, no one like cosplay to
Mm.
like go event. It's not something common. Like I think I never seen anyone do cosplay, so they see it as fashion. Yeah,
Okay,
and they
so that's
see
good.
it as like fashion from dolls, something like that, because
Ah.
it's a digital event. Yeah,
So did they think that you were dressing like a doll?
yeah, they thought it. But the interview isn't about the fashion I'm wearing. Actually, they just ask about what I'm selling, about
Um,
the dresses that I made, something like that. Yeah, but the
okay.
picture is like picture of me. Yeah.
Oh, that's so
I can't be able to
cute.
see that. That is so adorable.
Yeah. Well, what about you, Malika? When was the first time that you styled a J fashion coordinate?
It was I actually have the date in my mind. July 25th, 2015. And
Really
I was really into
dreaming.
I know, right? The exact date. Like it was
At
a
this
very
specific
wonderful day.
time.
I mean, that feeling that you get, I mean, that I got specifically wearing Lolita for the first time is just like, oh my God, I felt so beautiful. I felt like a queen. You know,
Mm.
I felt like I didn't even want to take the dress off. Like it was just such an amazing experience. And as for the hijab, like I had no idea what to do with it because I'm like, do I add lace here? Do I not wear bows? Do I wear bows? Like I was just like really confused. And I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna go with it. Just gonna just see how this works. And yeah. And I think I like when I first wore, I'll include the picture, but when I first wore like hijabi Lolita, I had like lace trim and like I like pinned it. I remember like pinning it like under to like show. It was, and I like wore all the just like makeup back in the day, which is crazy because I barely wear makeup now. But back then, like I was like, oh, I have to make sure I have this. I have to make sure I have that.
Mm.
And yeah, and I was really into gothic fashion more back then than I was now. So it was nice to like include that into my cords and my outfits.
I never seen you in gothic before.
I really, wow. I wear gothic every now and then. It's really hard for me to like find gothic because I like Pacific things. So I'm just like now like black on black on black. Like I like to do like include like other colors with gothic Lolita. So yeah.
I mean, just look at the back. At your back, they are
Yeah,
all
I know, right? It's like colorful and then like gothic.
Oh my
But
god.
hopefully one day it'll be like half colorful and half gothic.
Oh, that would be
That
cute.
would be really cute. But I need more gothic clothes, yeah, for sure.
I don't think I have seen you wear like gothic fashion before either. Maybe you could do like a goth outfit. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
that's my dream. That's literally my dream one day.
I mean, like
But
some
until
really
then,
like
yeah,
those huge demonia boots and like wow, that would be
I
really
would love to
cool.
try that one day.
You know, we've been saying hijab for like the past 5 minutes that we've been talking so far. But for those who don't know what a hijab is, how would you describe what it is? And yeah, what is it basically?
A hijab is basically like a head covering that is worn by Muslim women. Of course, wearing a head covering or veil is not specifically, only Muslim women wear it. Like there's a lot of women of different religions that wear it, like Christianity, Jewish women wear it, forms of paganisms. Women who follow pagan religions, they wear like the veil as well. But the hijab is what, like, for Muslim women who follows like the religion of Islam, that's what they call it.
I think for me, like I would define hijab a piece of fabric that is used to cover head. But for like Muslim hijab, we use it like to cover head, and also we call aura. So aura is like parts of our body that we need to cover. So hijab is specific for the like from here and above. Yeah, I think like for if you ask like just hijab on its own, it only means like a head cover. Yeah, it's just like what Malika said just now. Can be like from anyone or any religion or anywho. Yeah.
So within this whole religion, so there's different words, like Islam is the religion, and then Muslim, that's the people who participate in that religion, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
then hijabi, so that is someone who wears a hijab.
Yes.
Right.
The term for it, and excuse me, my terrible Arabic, mujahaba, and that means women who wears the hijab. But we just I like the term hijabi. It's easy for me to say.
Gotcha. So you're saying women who wear a hijab, like, do all Muslims wear a hijab, or is it just like specifically women who wear a hijab?
No, so for hijab, wait, the question is, does all Muslim wear hijab? Is it?
Yes.
So answer is no. There are people who is a Muslim but do not wear hijab, and there is also like Muslims who wears hijab. Yeah, I mean it's like the same thing. Like there are people who embrace certain religion but they do not pray, but there are some people who embrace religion and also pray. So it's like one of those like good deeds, like in Islam, like to pray and to fast and to wear hijab. Some people do all, some people do some. Yeah, it's like that.
And it's not just for women to like cover or like to like wear certain things. Men and like Islam, they have to like be modest as well. Like they can't wear like, the swimming trunks. Like they have a aura, what Alice said as well, that they have to cover as well.
Yeah.
The one that men wear, what does it usually look like?
They just simply have to cover like, if I'm not mistaken, and sorry if I make any mistakes, and forgive me if I do, I think like the part of the chest like down, like they have to be covered, and it is required if they can to grow a beard.
I see.
If they can. There are men out there who doesn't, like my father, he was never able to like grow a beard, but that was okay.
Yeah.
But there are obviously, just as the hijab, there are Muslim men out there who shave, and they also there are Muslim men out there who don't really like follow that particular thing.
Yeah,
but it doesn't make them less of a Muslim. Just wanted to put it out there.
So it depends on the individual. It's himself or herself. Like, but what the religion says is like that. So yeah.
Right. So it's very up to the individual then. It's not like everyone has to. I know some people, they use the word like they're forced to wear it.
Islam, it has those guidelines like what you should do, like if you want to follow exactly what Islam says. What I said just now is like depends on the people. Like sometimes they feel like they can do it and they want to be a better Muslim, so they be doing it. Like, but there are some people who is like also learning or like just want to try to be a better Muslim. So some they still do, but some they are still learning. So yeah, it feel like that.
And just like everything we do, it's all about like the intention. It's all is in here first. you know.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really mean like if you don't wear hijab or if you don't do some of the good deeds, you're not a Muslim. So Muslim is, yeah, like what Malika said, it's inside. So can be Muslim, but you're not following all those, but you can still be a Muslim. Yeah.
I understand. Gotcha. Well, if somebody chooses to wear one, what are usually some of the reasons that someone would do it? Oh, well, you like, what were your reasons for choosing to wear a hijab? And when one decides to wear one, do they usually wear it like 24/7 or only sometimes?
I'll get this. So I have a little like cute story. So when I was a little girl, I was about 8, 9 years old. My mom, even though I'm third generation Islam, so my grandparents reverted, and then my mom was raised into Islam. My dad reverted. She never really wore the hijab unless it was like during like this Friday prayer. We call it Juma. And she didn't start wearing it until she was like in her mid-30s. And so I was like 9, like 8, 9. I think I was about 9 years old at the time. And that's almost giving up my age here. It's okay. So she wore it and oh my God, she looked so beautiful. And I wanted to look like my mom. That was it. That was really it. I just wanted to dress like my mom. So my sister and I, we asked our mom, we like, hey, can we wear we called it a kimar back in the day. That's what a lot of people call it as well. But it was like, can we wear it like you? And my mom was just so happy. I remember she was like crying and she was like teaching us how to put it on. And we were so proud because we got the opportunity to dress up like our mom, who was like a beautiful queen in our eyes. May God rest her soul. She was a good mom. She was an inspiration for me, honestly. But yeah, that's my story of how I how I wore the hijab. That was a little bit over 20 years ago now. And what was the other question?
Oh, so the first part was why someone would wear a hijab, and then the second was, do you wear it 24/7?
No, I do not wear it 24/7. As soon as this camera off, this hijab is off. It's very rare that I wear my hijab in my house unless I'm about to go out.
Yeah.
So I looked into it. Some people who do wear it, the reason for it is to be like modest, right? And to sort of, some people wear it, what was the thing? Like around men who aren't family, something like that.
That's
right?
very true. Because I do want to mention, like, because we are Muslim, we follow Islam, it was one of the, like Alice said, like the rules that, was given us by God. And this not only like for modesty and, but it's also a way for us to get closer to God. That's why I think that's like the number one reason why majority of the Muslim women wear it, and as I got older, it was, I wear it first and foremost to be closer to God. And then, yeah, I'm not that religious, guys. I'm just putting it out there.
One of the main reason, right? Like the ultimate reason to wear the hijab. But for me, like, I think like even if I'm not a Muslim, I would still wear it because I prefer to look modest and so on. I think it just suits my personality. Yeah.
It's very comfortable too.
Yeah. I mean, like, I like it. I mean, it's like it's all the flowy. Like another reason where the hijab is because we need to cover our aura to certain people. It has like, I would say like a chart or something. Like it's not easy to just say like this. Like, but there are certain people that we can take off our hijab, our hair be seen, but there are certain people who we cannot. The question is why, right? Why we wear hijab? Yeah. So yeah, if we are inside our home and there's no one else, like no people that we need to cover our aura to from, so we can take it off. I think it also applies if we are outside and like no one can see us, or we are with someone who can see our aura, we can also take off our hijab.
When did you start wearing hijab, Alice?
So if you like follow the guidelines from Islam, we need to cover our when we hit puberty, right? Because that is when our eggs is start to accounted. Is that the right word? Like, yeah.
Yeah.
It is starting to count like what we did good and what we did bad. Yeah. Oh, English is hard.
Oh no, it's okay.
I
You're
know
doing
exactly. I can
great.
help you out with that too. I know exactly what you're talking about. Of course, I wore my hijab pre-puberty, so I
Yeah.
just stepped into it, I guess.
That is like the guideline. But yeah, some people wear it before like to practice or just, like to try like which kind would suit you or something like that. Yeah. But for me, I started when I was 12, like that. I think almost 13. I would say that it's considered quite late here because they usually wear it like around 7, like that. Or if you don't, people around will be like, oh, she hasn't started wearing something like that, but it's just culture thing. Like if you follow like what the religion says, it's supposed to be when you hit your puberty. Yeah.
Gotcha. You mentioned like an aura. How would you explain that? Is it like the vibe of someone?
I like that idea. Like that's a good way to put it. But no, it's basically like an aura is an aura. Ooh, my Sunday school teacher is going to get me really good with that one. That pronunciation was terrible. But basically, an aura is like a guideline on what needs to like be covered.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I guess I had confused it then with like the English word aura. My bad, I apologize.
Okay.
But there are many different head coverings worn by, whoever wants to wear it. Like, what is the difference between a hijab, a niqab, and a burqa?
Those are like the names of the different kinds of hijab. Even like here, they call it different. We don't call it hijab or any of those that you mentioned. Yeah. So, but to answer to that question, hijab is something like this. Yeah. What is it again?
The niqab and burqa.
So the niqab that's when you cover, like I'll give you an example. So and a lot of people do this. So the hijab is like this, and the niqab is like you cover and like you only see like the eyes, which is I tried that a little bit when I was a teenager. I liked it, but it eventually like I took it off for a little bit. But yeah, so niqab is cover the eyes, and then burqa, I think that's when you cover like the whole face.
Yeah, including the eyes. But it's very, 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 very uncommon here. Like if you wear it, if we see someone wear it, like we know that they are not from here. Like yeah, they like something like this. Even like the one that Malika wears, it's also very uncommon to see here. Yeah, it's really pretty.
Thank you.
Earlier we had talked about how people don't wear the hijab like 24/7. And I thought back about it because I'd grown up in Singapore, and in Singapore, there are a lot of people who are Muslim. And in school, I hardly ever really saw any people wear their hijab. It's like very rare. But then sometimes you might bump into someone, I think like on a Friday or whatever, they go to the mosque and then they would be wearing it. And I was like, oh my gosh, you look different. So yeah, like from my personal experience having friends who are Muslim, like they didn't wear it 24/7. So yeah, I think it maybe for people who are unaware, like make a Muslim friend and then you'll understand it better, which kind of ties into our next question with, for some people who are unfamiliar with Islam and something that is often seen in white feminism, there is the misconception that a hijab oppresses Muslim women and that they somehow need their liberation. So what are your thoughts about this misconception? Because I think it's definitely something that's a lot more common. Like when we moved here to America, I started seeing people saying these kinds of things like, oh my gosh, like, we need to like save them or something. But like when I grew up in Singapore, that was not something that I'd ever heard of before. Because it's just like, it's a normal thing. Like, I don't know. But yeah, what are both of your thoughts about that?
I think my view will be different from Malika because where we live is like majority people here are Muslim, so wearing a hijab is never like an issue here. But wear it with Lolita, yes, but that is another. But wearing a hijab alone is like it's very common here to see. So we never face like anything like that. But like my take on people will be saying that wearing hijab oppressing. I think how do you like simply say it like oppressing when you don't even ask that person like what religion they are in.
Exactly.
Right.
I mean, like you just generalize it and say that every woman who wears hijab is like oppressing, like got forced to, or something like that. Yeah, I mean, like if I were at that place and then someone asked me to take off, I would feel that is oppressing. Like, why would you want me to take it off? I mean, I like it. I want to wear it. I mean, I feel pretty in it. Like, why? Yeah, something like that.
There are countries out there that I want to point out, not trying to have a real political debate with anybody. So, but there are countries out there that do force women to wear the hijab, which goes completely against the teachings of Islam, because, as Muslims, we're taught from the very beginning, from one of the verses in the Quran, that there is no compulsion in Islam. So when they say like it's oppressive, like a lot of like feminism, like women, like in these groups, like they take that and like you said, like generalize and make like, oh, all women are like oppressed because they wear this, like they need to free themselves. But I'm like, I am true to myself when I choose what I want to wear and not what you want us to wear. So yeah, I mean, I did, as a kid growing up wearing a hijab, I'm honestly, the journey was not that easy because I wore it like a little bit after 9/11. So it was already this very negative like stigma for Muslims, for us simply trying to exist. It was a problem. But yeah, and specifically from like the feminism groups, like they don't really ask you, how you feel. They just automatically see you and assume like, oh, you're forced to wear it, you're being oppressed. Like, and that's not the case with a lot of women. It would be nice for them to actually like talk to us and then for them to like learn something.
There are some countries who force Muslims, like every Muslim woman, to wear hijab, right? I think it became like that because of the extremists, like and like when people like talk about Islam, I don't know, like they always have to relate it with these extremists when these extremists are like very small in quantity and all the happy Muslims are like still many. Like we're still many. So yeah, I think it's also because how media shows it, right? So yeah, that's how it is. Like in here, we are not like it's not really about wearing hijab, but I can relate about fasting. Like here, there was an issue last time where kindergarten they forced children to fast and not giving out food during Ramadan. I think that is really, really stupid because they are just still kids and they obviously haven't like hit their puberty yet. And even if they do, it's really like against their right, because some kids, they cannot fast or they are still learning. I mean, they're still kids, right? So we should opportunity to learn and not like force them to fast. Yeah, so these are like the things that made us look like we are oppressing our own Muslim, right? Hmm. Yeah, just want to say that these things exist, but they are not majority. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, with a lot of other religions as well, there are definitely people who are extremists. Like we had talked about in the beginning, it's all a choice and it's something that somebody chooses to do. So again, make a friend who is Muslim, like talk to people.
Yeah.
Don't just assume things. And yeah, well, which leads us perfectly to our next question. What are some other misconceptions about wearing a hijab that you would like to dispel?
This one I got a lot when I was little. And I really hope adults are not going up to hijab kids and asking them questions like they did with me. That's not, I just want to put out there, that is not okay. Stop that, please, if you're still doing that. So one of the misconceptions I got was apparently like, because I'm wearing hijab, I wear a scarf on my head, I'm bald headed. Like I have hair. I don't think this would stay if I didn't have hair. Well, but yeah, like, oh, apparently like I don't have hair. Like apparently, I'm forced to wear it, and that I'm very like I'm submissive type of like personality. Like I'm only doing it because I'm like following what the man wants. And I'm just like, no, that's definitely not the case, you guys. Yeah, that's one of the biggest misconceptions I've gotten.
What about for you, Alice?
I don't think the question is is for me, because like I said, like here majority people wears it. So don't think there's any misconception. Well, maybe more like on the hijab style that you wear. Like here, if you wear something like this, something like longer than here, people call you are so religious like that. Like yeah, they are religious too, but they are not so religious. I don't know, but
I actually got the opposite. Like I was told, like if I wore, like it didn't matter like how I wore hijab. It was like if I wore a certain color that wasn't black, apparently I'm not religious. Or yeah, like I was like, what? Oh, okay, that's nice.
Yeah, when I was doing my research beforehand, there was like lists of misconceptions that people had. And there was something about like the color of the hijab. Like it doesn't matter, right? You can wear any color that you want to, right?
You can wear any color. God created all colors. So yeah, you can wear all of the colors.
I think that is more like on the I'm not sure, like I can be wrong too, like probably on the Arab countries where people wear mostly black colors, but here like when majority are like wearing hijab, they wear all sorts of color and all sorts of designs and so on. Like yeah, just not Lolita yet.
Right. Yeah. Speaking of Lolita, are there many people who wear J fashion, kawaii fashion, alternative fashion, or even cosplay with a hijab? Like, is there a pretty big community of people who do that?
Well, for me here, yes. Actually, the community is quite big too. Like for cosplay, like very, very, very big. Yeah. For hijab cosplayer, you can see like on almost every convention that you go, like, and there won't be just one, there'll be like at least 10 or something or more, I think. Yeah, but for hijab Lolita, last time we have like a community. It is called Pinku Star. And one of them too. Yeah. So last time they are quite active on Facebook, where they are keep recruiting people inside, keep dragging people come inside us, join us. But then they actually started quite early. I think around 2000. I'm not quite sure, but quite a long time ago. So many of them like now kind of slow down with Lolita. So it's making that the community to, I think it's shut down already. Yeah. So there's only me.
Oh
no. Not really actually. There are still a few, like I think around 5 of us whom are still active, like 4 or 5, but we don't have community anymore. Yeah. But definitely there are numbers of people who are Lolita here. Yeah.
Unfortunately for me, there's not a lot of Muslims because I'm in America, and there's not a lot of like hijab Muslims here. I think my whole life I met maybe one in person, and that's about it. But it would be nice for there to be more hijab Lolitas here in America. There's very few. I think I count on my hand how many there is, but unfortunately we don't have like a community as of yet.
Mhm.
Oh, you said something earlier, Alice?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just asking Malika to come here.
Oh.
Yeah, of course. I would love to. You and I should have like a meetup one of these days if I ever go to
Oh
Malaysia.
my gosh. Like an international
Yeah,
like J fashion meetup. That would be really cool to
that would be
see.
so amazing.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I think like I mostly see people like online. I've seen like people do like a Sailor Moon cosplay and then with their hijab they'll like do the hair,
Yeah,
which
I
is so
was
cute.
one of them.
Oh my gosh, you do too.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, just like incorporating it into all sorts of stuff, which is really cool. I'm hoping through this video that perhaps it'll encourage more people to try wearing like alternative fashion or cosplay with their hijab. I think that would be cool if more people. Well, actually, yeah, I keep saying this, but when I was doing my research there was some kind of event in Japan where that was called like Kawaii Hijab event something. I'll put like a picture of it here. I didn't see any pictures from the event, but it was like they were promoting it and stuff. So I thought that was pretty cool. I think that was in like 2017 or something when
God, I wish
it happened.
I wish I even knew about that. Like, where was I?
But what has your experience wearing J fashion or cosplay with a hijab been like? How do people in public react? And also, how does your family and the Muslim community feel about you wearing J fashion?
I am extremely grateful for all of the positive like reactions I've gotten from like the Muslim community, from my family, and from people out there in general, where when I wear my hijab with my Lolita and also with my cosplay, like it's almost kind of shocking. I mean, I'm not trying to like put down anyone, but I came from a community where it wasn't as welcoming towards me. So obviously, despite determined to do whatever I wanted to do, I still had that like nervous feeling like in the back of my mind. But when I started, both J fashion as well as, cosplaying, it's all been a bunch of positivity, like from everyone. My family loves it every time. My grandma always she shows me where it's like, everybody should dress like this.
Oh.
My parents are very supportive of me in J fashion as well. And, I haven't worn a full cord yet for like Friday prayers, but because I guess my regular outfits was very similar to my J fashion outfits, they were like used to it anyway. So yeah, but they loved it. So I haven't received all positive vibes coming my way. It's something I really appreciate.
For me, like I've been wearing like fashion since I was very young. So yeah, I've been always like presenting myself wearing like weird stuff and hijab. So like family and close friends, they already know like, oh, it's just another fashion she wears, something like that. Yeah. But for others, there are like some who like take it positively, but there are also some who take it negatively. Like here, sometimes they can be like quite I don't know what's the word, like conservative, is it? Like they're more like culture people. So they tend to have like, oh, people here has to dress like this. Like, yeah, you can wear like fancy, but not Lolita. Yeah, something like that. Right? Because Lolita is like very poof. The dress is poofy, and then if I wear mori, I like to put on many layers. So people here, if I wear something like that, and like an outsiders saw me, they will be like, "Aren't you hot?" Or like, "Why you wear like that?" Like that. I mean, the one that I always get, like, "Are you getting married?" Something like that.
Yeah, me too.
Like,
I get that a lot too.
yeah.
I'm wearing
like
a veil today too. Unbelievable.
Really?
Yeah, like, so it actually looks like I'm getting married today, but no, I'm not
Maybe
getting.
also wear the veil at the back, like probably. And probably the colors. And I mean, like, I did wear other colors and still got the same response. Like, why? But sometimes I'm just like too tired to answer. So I'm just like, yeah, I'm married, something like that. They just it.
Mhm.
Then she's like, oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Of course, there's always going to be, that negative person or that troll online that's going to criticize you regardless of what you do. So, I mean, we've all faced that.
Mm.
So, we're just going to ignore that, and we might as well continue to live our best lives.
Amen. Absolutely. Alice, you're talking about people who are more conservative or they are a little bit more traditional Muslims who they will argue and say that alternative fashion styles, cosplay, and makeup, it's the opposite of modest because of how eye-catching and flamboyant alternative fashion and all that is. So what are your thoughts about that, like people who say that sort of thing?
What are my thoughts? I mean, I would just let them be because I know like it's more just on the culture thing. So it's not really what I mean. For me, like as long as it doesn't like contradict with what Islam teaches, so it doesn't bother me much. Yeah. So because what they say for people here, they like even if you wear like all black, they will still say something about it, like on at some places people see it as like, oh, that is good enough, like you are being a good Muslim, something like that. But here if you wear it like that, they will say like you are already astray, something like that, just because you don't wear something to fit in the culture, like how they see you're supposed to dress, like that. Yeah, so it really like it doesn't matter to me as long as it doesn't contrast with what I believe my religion teaches.
What about you, Malika? How do you feel about it?
What was the question again?
Well, the question okay, what we were talking about is because there are some very traditional Muslims who feel that alternative fashion, cosplay, and makeup, that it is not right, I guess, because it's the opposite of modest, because it's very eye-catching and flamboyant. So what are your thoughts about those people?
Of course. So
Yeah.
people are entitled to their own opinions, and
Mhm.
that is okay. There, as far as being Muslim and wearing like hijab with Lolita as well as cosplay and alternative fashion, there are different variety of interpretations of what modesty is. So what I think is like modest is not necessarily what the other person think about what they see as modest. So it's like different views. So I'm not going to argue with you about what you believe in because it doesn't like go against my beliefs. So I tend to like not try to argue with anybody on that. I'm just like let them talk and wish them a very nice day. And that's it. I think at the end of the day, we have a saying in our religion, to each his own. That's what basically it means. But yeah, you have your way and I have my way. We're all at the end of the day doing the best we can. I tend not to like focus on like trying to like debate with anybody on like that type of subject. And yeah, I don't, I don't want to like argue. Like I said, I don't want to argue with anybody. I'm just trying to live my life.
Mm.
Also,
Like,
Lolita fashion is modest fashion. You're not
Right.
even, you're not like, it's not like, I guess, like skin tight or whatever. So it's always really strange to me when someone say like, this is not modest when I'm literally dressed in modest clothing. Yeah.
You were saying, Alice?
it's actually the same as what Malika said. In our religion, like the main thing for us in dressing up is to like cover our skin, right? So it's the same with Lolita concept, like to cover the skin, and so it doesn't really need to I don't know, like people say so eye catching and so on. Like it's actually like the contrary of it, you know. Let's say that you want to dress up Lolita fashion and hijab, but you don't really want to get trouble with all those conservative people, like not really like to follow them, but you know, like to avoid those unwanted unwanted things to happen. So I would like suggest to wear it according to the situation that you're going. For example, like if you're going to like let's say like a symmetry or something, wear a darker color. You don't wear like something fancy, right? I think that's my take on like eye catching, wearing eye catching, like so you can still dress up in Lolita. I mean, Lolita is so various. Even all other fashion, also like in Morike, like let's say in Morike, like we also have like the colorful one and also the nude, the pale one, right? So you can always like match it to the situation if you want to avoid those kind of like unwanted things to happen. Yeah.
In certain styles of Lolita and J fashion, and even I guess some form of cosplay, depending on what you're doing, you could literally wear it out and it's still very modest. Like for example, like you mentioned, like Mori K, like I could literally walk to the masjid with that, and that's like a regular outfit for majority of the people that goes there. So
Yeah.
it's very interesting when someone say like this is not modest, like, but you're wearing the same thing. Like, what do you mean?
Some people have sort of like the misconception about like Lolita fashion, other than the name, because that's a big thing that people seem to like argue about because the book, the movie, yada yada yada. But yeah, I think people just aren't aware of like what Lolita fashion is, so they're like, that's all weird and stuff.
And a lot of people are like forget the fact that at the end of the day, Lolita fashion, J fashion, and cosplay is for everybody, regardless of, you know, where you're from, what color skin you are, what language you speak, you know, what religion you follow. Like anybody could do this.
Absolutely. Well, you know, what do the both of you love about J fashion, and how has it positively affected your life?
Well, for me, I do sewing a lot, and I do lots of crafts and DIYs and so on. So, in Lolita fashion, like specifically, and also Morike, I feel like I am able to like apply my creativity like without boundaries. Like you know, like Lolita, you can like there are so many styles, and you like can try any kind, like any styles of it. Like for example, in one substyle, there are many ways to create the chord, right? So the extent for me, like to be creative, is like I think it's like endless. So I really like it about that. So yeah, and what else? I think it's the community. Yeah, the community is very welcoming. Like we accept all kinds of people, like any gender, any race, any age, and so on. I think it's really amazing. We all got supports from the community.
Well, what about you, Malika? What do you love about J fashion, and also whenever you cosplay and stuff? Like, how has it positively?
Well, for both of them, I love the community. Like Alice said, they are just so welcoming. Of course, there's always toxic people in every community, so just putting that out there. But that's not the case with me. I haven't. No one's really been like that towards me or Alice, or you know. So I mean, the community is such a beautiful, welcome community. I love the opportunity to find like pieces from random places you wouldn't expect and be able to put it with my cords in cosplays as well. Like you'd be surprised what you could find at thrift stores, the flea markets, dollar stores, you know, and that works with, you know, all things I do, J fashion, you know, specifically Lolita, Decora, and even cosplaying. Like you'd be surprised of the little like things you could find, like hidden treasures you could find like in the corner. It's amazing. And it, of course, it gives me the opportunity to be creative with my cords, you know, and I get to set up, like, I would take something that I really like, and I would save it for a specific like outfit or a specific like cosplay I'm doing. Like, I love to like do beading and a lot of embroidery, so I get to include that in things, and a lot of like embellishments and making things. Like, for example, like I made this little headpiece right here that you're seeing. So yeah, I mean, you get an opportunity to do a lot, like I said, like a lot of DIY and a lot of thrifting, a lot of finding really good. It's not really as expensive as I thought it was, because when going to Lady Fashion, I'm like, oh boy, you saw the prices of those angelic pretty dresses, like I cannot afford that. But no, there's so many like ways you can do it when you don't have much money in the bank, and that's something I really appreciated.
I feel like I should start doing this for future videos, but do you mind sharing both of your coordinates that you're wearing today with the viewers by any chance?
Oh, sure. What? You
Mine
want
is a complete. I skipped petticoat tonight.
Oh no. Well, you don't have to show the bottom part if you don't want to.
Yeah, I'll just show like parts of it. Yeah, so I am wearing this silver dress I got from Double Inspired. And for those of you in the Lolita community, it's really hard to find dresses that's this color. So I love this color. I love gray. So that's what I'm wearing. And it didn't come with a veil, but I put this veil on it. And so yeah, that's what I'm wearing today. Like, started at my petticoat, just like covering up everything. It's like that super poof. Oh, of course. Yeah, I'm wearing I'll pull the camera down. I'm wearing, like, it comes with like bows. And then this is actually my hijab. That silver piece you're talking about. And of course, with many of my coordinates, I include like, I collect brooches and everything. This is from also Double Inspired. But yeah.
How about the veil?
Oh, I made this. Like, I made half of it. Yeah. I made it.
You made it?
Yeah.
What the heck?
Yeah, Malika is going. She did all her cooking. Yeah,
like it's like half made, and of course I'll include the picture because I have a picture of me in this particular cord. But I'm wearing Lolita. I call it Lolita pants, and that I made as well with it. And I had to dye the lace because I couldn't find any silver lace for some reason, like in my area, and it was too late. Like, by the time I wore this for a Pacific meetup, and so by the time like I got the dress came, like I didn't have much time to like order things in advance. So I guess I had to be creative.
You're both so freaking talented. Like, it's so incredible. Like, and I've seen, Alice, your story. Sometimes you post the dresses that you make and all the different things. And it's like, it's incredible. Oh, but Alice, what are you wearing today?
Oh, it's not the best. I don't know.
No, it's okay. Is the dress that you're wearing, is that like a specific Lolita print or something?
No, this is actually just a
Oh, that's so cute.
It's actually just a normal dress that I wear it as a Lolita. Yeah, that's how I usually and I just wear a normal hijab, and yeah, this headpiece I made it myself. And then this one is also thrift. Yeah. Oh, only the blouse. The blouse is bodyline. I actually cheat, in my court. Like, I usually turn a dress into a reliable dress into Lolita court. Yeah.
That's smart. I need to do that more often. Like that.
It's really cute. I've seen some people where there's one person that I saw. I remember they got a dress from Hot Topic. It wasn't like a Lolita dress or anything, but they sewed it. They did some mending to it to make it possible so they could wear it with Lolita, which was pretty cool. Like, it was just a regular dress. It wasn't the shape was just like, I think, straight down or something. But yeah, it's so cool how freaking creative people are.
I did like a few times like upgrading a normal dress into a Lolita dress. Maybe I can show later. Can give you pictures.
Yes, please. I will include it on the screen. But do the both of you mind showing us your favorite hijab? And also it's probably gonna be hard to pick, but your favorite J fashion coordinate that you've ever put together.
I have two favorites. Unfortunately, I guess the most favorite of the bunch. I guess like the second most favorite. I don't have anything to go with it because the color, once again, is very difficult to find. So anyway, like my first favorite hijab, I actually made this one myself. I don't know if you can see it, but it's basically like a very shimmery, like chiffon fabric, and I sewed the lace on it at the edge, and I wore that with my dream cord, the angelic pretty Rose Museum dress, like behind me. And what I did when incorporating my like culture and my hijab with loaded fashion is like, if many people know, but and I didn't find out until I bought it. So apparently, like the Rose Museum have crosses on it. You know, I'm Muslim. We don't wear crosses like that. So I covered the crosses with. I'll take it out. It's right behind me. So I actually covered the crosses with like miniature flowers.
Oh,
And you can't even tell. I mean, and I want to put it out there, like once you buy something, it's yours. You can do whatever you want with it. So, but yeah, I just covered the little crosses with the roses and it worked just as well. My other second, let me put this back real quick. Sorry about that. So many yells. My second one, this is one this hijab actually belonged to my mother. This is one of her favorites. And so this is literally like passed down. And it has like these embroidered like flowers on it. And I wore that with the misty sky with like a cloud sweater I got from, oh my gosh, I forgot the store. I think Store Envy. I got this like cloud princess sweater and I put like on top of it because it was like really cold that day.
Yeah.
And of course, my third favorite hijab, unfortunately, this is like my favorite hijab. I love it. Last but not least, this is literally like my number one favorite hijab. I had this hijab for years. It actually wasn't this color. I was like one of those DIY people that like to take something and dye it a different color. So I had this hijab for like I think since high school, like a very long time. And it was like a dark, like orangey yellow color, because that for some reason, like back in those days, I loved to wear that color a lot. But you know, as I got older, I like more like pastel colors. So I actually dyed it this color. Like, you know, it's like a simple technique. Like you take it outside and then you boil it with bleach. You just don't do it inside. So you know, you could be able to breathe in your house. So it turned into this really gorgeous, like light orange color. And one day I would love to be able to wear this with a Lolita cord or a J fashion outfit, maybe like Fairy K or Mori K, but I haven't found anything that would match with this.
I like when I saw it, I was thinking honey cake. You know, the one with the pancakes or something.
See, I've seen honey cake in real life. It's not this color, unfortunately. No, it's like a bit off, but it's close though.
Malika, if I may ask, like, what is the shape of your hijab usually?
Rectangle, almost 2 yards. It's like super long. Yeah. Almost all of my hijab is rectangle, which is interesting because when I first wore hijab, I wore a square.
The one that you're wearing now? Is it?
Yeah, this is rectangle. And I just like wrap it around and like put it at the front like that.
The famous one, there are two shapes of hijab, the square one and the rectangle one. Yeah.
Yeah. What about yours? What shape is yours?
Oh, this is rectangle. It's around 1.8 meters, like that.
This is literally like 2 yards. How do you pronounce? Can you translate 2 yards into meters? How does that work?
Oh shoot. Oh no. Math. No, my worst enemy.
Mine too.
I think 2 yards is around 1.8, like that. I think it's about
okay. Yeah. I don't know any math. I'm sorry, guys. That was like my worst subject.
Because I usually look for fabrics in Etsy Yeah, and then they are all with yards, but the one that we use here, they are in meters, so I have to like convert it. So I kind of know a little bit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I wish. I mean, like, what? Isn't there like a universal? I wish we all just had like one.
Right? Oh my gosh.
Why? I think it's just America that has like a specific other thing.
Like a
Oh my
vector system or
God.
something.
It
Oh
was
my
so
gosh.
confusing when I moved here because I grew up learning centimeters and meters, but like now I have to know feet and yard. I don't know these things.
When did you move to America?
I moved here when I was like 15. So I was around like secondary school age, which is sort of like going
High school?
into high school. Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, I had spent a good amount like growing up in it's like pretty equal an amount now that I lived there and lived here.
Do you like come to Singapore again, like, or do you stay there?
I have not visited even once since we moved. It's really sad. I keep telling like my family that we should like visiting Singapore again. I mean, plane tickets are just so expensive and
Very.
one day. You showed the hijabs, but Malika, do you have like a favorite J fashion cord that you ever did?
There's so many, you know. Yes. My favorite J fashion cord I ever did was when I did the Rose Museum. Obviously, it was my favorite because it was my dream cord. And when I did the oh my gosh. Oh, when I did the Misty Sky, simply because I was in love with that sweater and I could not find anything go with it. And I had this dress this JSK sitting here that I did it with the, prepaid plan. That's like a tongue twister for me.
Oh, like a payment thing.
Yes, because you know how expensive they are.
Mm.
So yeah, I did that. And I was like, do I have anything other? Oh, and that was the only cloud printed thing I had here. And so when I put it together, I'm like, oh my gosh. And
It
then
matches your backdrop too.
it does. It was identical. But yeah, and I got the chance to wear it with these boots that I was like in love with that I had that was actually supposed to be for a cosplay. I was supposed to be a scenario. The Cineroll, I think that's called.
Cinema roll, the
Cineroll, yeah, I was supposed to do it for that, but it never really worked out. So I just put it with my cord.
Oh,
Yeah, that was a good time going to the museum and stuff with that on. That was really nice.
Well, what about you, Alice? What are your favorite hijabs and also your favorite J fashion cord in it?
For like hijab, I like to wear the plain one like this because I feel like it's easy for me to mix and match. But I also have like favorites one. Wait, so lately I've been like into like this kind of hijab. It has
That's gorgeous.
the one that Malika shows us now. I'm like, it's embroidery. I think it's so pretty.
That is beautiful.
Yeah, and also like if I wear Morike, I'm like I really like this one. So
I love the print.
Whoa, that is so pretty.
That is absolutely
actually,
gorgeous.
both are just thrifted. Yeah, I do thrift a lot, So I like all this. Like I think these two are like the old trend of hijab here. So I like to collect them for like cord. I started into Lolita with classic actually. Classic Lolita. I like it a lot and I feel like because classic Lolita it's like a little bit mature, like the look is a little bit mature. So I like it. I wear it a lot, but then after some time I think I'm starting to get to try all other styles as well. So like now I wear Sweet Lolita. Usually if I'm like I don't know what to wear, I'll just go for Sweet Lolita because it's really easy to like coordinate, But if I had to just like one, only one. I think it has to be my Shiro Lolita cord, the one that all white, right?
Mm.
Like I just really love white so much. So yeah, I think it has to be. Yeah, and also I think it the cord is really special because they are handmade from top to bottom. Like even the hijab, I also make it myself. So yeah, it's white actually, so it's quite easy to like don't have to trouble to think about color match and so on. Yeah, but I really like it. I feel like it shows the most me. Yeah.
That's so cool. Well, if a hijabi wants to start wearing J fashion, kawaii fashion, alternative fashion, cosplay, do you have any advice on how they should start and how they can like incorporate it and stuff?
I say like take it one day at a time. Choose like the right fabrics for your cords as well as like alternative fashion and cosplay. Usually, we tend to do like chiffon, like hijabs made out of like chiffon and polyester and really that like thin cotton because it's so much easier to like move around and style it. Maybe like try it on first before like try it on like inside the house and see like and get a feel of it before go out there with it.
Because Lolita, it has like various substyles. So maybe try see first, like which kind that you are into. The first Lolita that I know is Sweet Lolita. Yeah, I think most of us do because it's like the most famous one, right?
Mm-hmm.
But during that time, I'm like, oh, I don't think it's for me because it's like everything is pink from top to bottom at that time. Okay, at that time, I feel like okay, maybe this is not for me, so I didn't really get into it. But after I see classic Lolita, country Lolita, like I'm like, oh, this is something that maybe like I can fit in something like that. Yeah, so I think the first thing is maybe you can search like all the substyles of Lolita and see like which one that you find that you can find the most comfortable that you can wear. Yeah, for hijabi specifically, maybe you can first see like the kind of style that you're wearing at the moment. So, for example, like like hijab, there are many styles, right? So there are people who wear it like this, and there are people who wear like, for example, like turban or something. So maybe try to see the hijab that you wear and like the style that you wanna go for. Let's say that you want to go for classic, and you can see like, oh, which hijab style that do you think will match with this, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, other than even Lolita too, I'll show some examples here, but I've seen some people wear their hijab with decora. I've seen somebody with like hair clips, which is so freaking cute. On TikTok, I saw somebody wearing like they put together a gyaru outfit, which is really cool. And then the new like J fashion style that's like trending right now in Japan, which is jidaike, like they also wore like a sort of outfit like that too. Actually, hold on. Maybe if I open up my TikTok, because I have many examples. Like people are so creative on that app with their outfits. This is not like J fashion, but I love the colors. It's so colorful.
Wow. I have something similar. I have a pastel rainbow hijab that I wear with my fairy cake cord.
I think I've seen that. That like one of the first few cords that I've ever seen you wear. Oh, this is the person who wears the cord.
I love her. Oh my gosh.
So cute. And then this one is more like alternative, sort of like with the leg warmers and the earmuffs.
I love it.
Oh yeah, the gyaru, with the kogal sort of thing.
Gosh, that is so cool.
This one is definitely more like Sweet Lolita sort of style. Oh shoot, I forgot what I was saying, what we were saying. Right, we're talking about advice.
Advice.
Yes.
Do your research.
Yes. Research.
Yeah, research. I mean, that's just with anything in general. Just make sure you do your research. It's really important. Ask questions. There's always a lot of like groups out there, like on Facebook or, social media in general, like the big sisters of Lolita fashion, groups like that, feel free, they're very open to everyone and questions like that. So yeah, never feel afraid. Like, there's no such thing as a stupid question. So just feel free to like ask questions, do your research, try it out, see what fits for you.
Awesome. That's really great. advice. Well, do the both of you have any last words of encouragement for the people watching this video right now?
Yeah, again, like fashion is for all. Yeah, because yeah, especially like for specifically a hijabi, like no one says that we need to wear like specific clothes only. The one that Islam says is that we need to cover a certain part of the body, not specifically what kind of dress or something, you know. So yeah, if you're interested in to try, just maybe you can try to reach out to the community at your place, or you can maybe reach out to us. Like, we'll be happy to help.
I always say, always be yourself, for you are the best you when you are true to yourself. And yeah, this is J fashion, Lolita fashion, and whatever you choose to do, like, that's not, I guess, in a mainstream, like what everybody else wear. It's an amazing experience when you get to like express yourself. So yeah, just be true to yourself. Yeah. And do what makes you happy at the end of the day.
Yes. Awesome. Well, before we go, do y'all have anything else that you want to discuss or any questions?
Why is it so difficult to find certain colors? Seriously, like,
I mean, I feel that too with like rainbows. Oftentimes it's a lot of like just pastel rainbow, but for me, I like really bright rainbows, so it's hard to find that often. So because of that, I was like, you know what, I'll just start my own brand and I'll do my own thing. Oh, maybe you could do that too.
Yeah, we should. Alice, would we like team up together?
Yes. And a little collab to create the perfect colored piece. That sounds fun.
Like, why is it so difficult to find this color? Like, it took me years to find like what I'm wearing right now. And I don't understand, because for some reason, like the silvery, like pastel colors, or just like you said, like the bright rainbow colors, like they're only available around certain time, and then after that, like, good luck.
That's also why like I can only find like those pieces for Morike in thrift stores, because of that. Those colors are really hard to find.
Well, before we go, do you have anything that you would like to promote, or social media pages where we can support and follow you?
Just follow me on my page, Malika Keep Smiling. Thank you so much. I would like to one day create get back on TikTok and maybe create a YouTube eventually.
Yes, please.
Eventually, when I have the time, of course. That's important.
For me, you can follow me on Instagram, Little Berry Bomb, and I also have YouTube, but I'm barely active. I wish I'm more active there. It's quite hard, It's the same name, Little Berry Bomb. So yeah, that's where I'm at now, like Instagram and YouTube.
Link them down in the description if you want to click and check them out. Please follow them. They are wonderful creators, artists. But yeah, thank you both again so much for your time and knowledge. I had a lot of fun talking to both of you today and just hanging out, and yeah, this was
so much for the glad to be here. Yeah.
Yay. I'm glad to have you here, so thank you again. Thank you again to both Alice and Malika. I will have both of their links linked down below. But I'd love to know your thoughts on hijab J fashion and cosplay in the comments. Eid Mubarak, happy Ramadan to all my Muslim friends in advance. Thank you so much for watching the video all the way through, and thank you to my lovely patrons! I'll see y'all in the next video, so take care and bye bye!